President who was beaten and kicked out. The poorest president in U.S. history. A few years before the American Civil War broke out, at the Taylor farm, a large farm in Ohio, a shabby-dressed young man came to work. After the young man had been provided with room and board in the warehouse and working diligently for 3 years, Taylor found out that the man and his only daughter loved each other. Taylor got very angry, and the young man eventually got kicked out of the farm empty-handed. 35 years later, as Taylor cleaned up the old warehouse, he found a suitcase that belonged to the young man he kicked out. There was a book in the suitcase, and the young man's name was written on it. James Abraham Garfield. Taylor was greatly shocked, because the young man he had kicked out empty-handed 35 years ago was the current president of the United States. Garfield is known as the poorest president in U.S. history. Born in Ohio in 1831 as the son of a poor pioneer farmer, he lost his father when he was about 18 months old. With his mom raising 2 sons and 2 daughters alone, it was difficult for Garfield to even buy a book, but he was grateful that he could attend school. Garfield had earned his own tuition as he grew up, and after graduating from Hiram College in 1851 and Williams College in 1856 with honors, he had returned to his alma mater and became a professor. And in 1857, at the age of 26, he became a dean of Hiram University, was elected to the Senate as a Republican in 1859, and got his attorney license in 1860. He had built an amazing career. When the Civil War broke out in 1861, Garfield joined the Union Army, fought in the battles of Middle Creek and the Battle of Chickamauga, and retired as a Major General in 1863. Garfield, who had returned to politics afterwards, served 8 consecutive terms in the House of Representatives, was elected to the Senate in 1880, and later that year was elected president. He was sworn in as the 20th President of the United States in March of 1881. What made Garfield the president? After being kicked out from Taylor's farm, Garfield set 10 life rules and stuck to them all his life. Don't be lazy. Live below your means. Promise less. Tell the truth. Make good friends. Make it to the end. Don't say anything bad about people. Don't hope for luck, even in games. There is no such thing as luck. Avoid drinks that blur your mind. Keep secrets, whether they are mine or others. Don't borrow money until the last minute. Take responsibility for your actions and don't blame others. Pray before you go to sleep and have a time for reflection each day. Although he was kicked out empty-handed after being beaten up, he never had an evil heart nor fell into despair. What's the driving force behind his beliefs? It was his mother's unique teachings. One day, as his mother felt sorry that she could not buy Garfield a book, she said, "I'm sorry, dear. Even though I'm your mom, I can't even buy a book for you to study." Garfield answered, "Don't worry, Mother. I'm going to study hard and become a great captain. Watch me." His mother said, stroking Garfield's head, "That's great, my son. It's good to become a captain, but first, be someone who can help others." Time passed, and on Inauguration Day, Garfield appeared at the inauguration hall with his old mother. He sat his mother down in the president's seat where he was supposed to sit, stood next to her, and said, "Everyone, She's the mother who has always led me and took care of me until I became president. I want to dedicate this honor to my mother today." Garfield applied his relentless effort to his mother's teachings. In his presidential inauguration speech, Garfield has left the following message: "Take advantage of 10 minutes. This is the key to success." In Garfield's school days, he got good grades overall. But there was one friend who got better grades than him in mathematics no matter how hard he tried. One day after studying, when Garfield was about to go to bed in his dormitory, he noticed that the lights in his friend's room were still on. After observing for a few days, he learned that the lights in his room turned off 10 minutes later than his. Because he always studied 10 more minutes than me, he could do better than me in school. Since then, Garfield went to bed after studying 10 more minutes after his friend's lights turned off. After studying 10 more minutes, he went to bed. Finally, he got a better grade than that friend. The efforts that piled up made him the president. The King of Steel left this message: "Do a little more than what you have to do. Then your future will unravel by itself." Garfield has clearly proved that hard work never betrays. And according to his mother's teachings, he knew he should make an effort to help others. Efforts to help others. That was why Garfield had to succeed. It made the purpose of his life clearer. Our environment can be a constraint in our lives. But the attitude we maintain in our environment is very important, as we have seen in the case of Garfield. The small changes in our attitude towards life will make a big difference in the outcome in the future.